Fighting critters in the front yard ever feel like you're in the front lines? You buy tons of name brand canned killers that swear up and down they'll take out the problem first spray. Well, our intel says otherwise. Forget all that. Call us, Old Colony Pest Control. Tell them that Red Revere sent you. We handle commercial and residential pest control needs. Take care of anything from ants, roaches, ticks, mosquitoes, rats, and more. No wildlife or termites at this time. Call us at 774-400-5993, and we'll bring in the big guns.
A better job, a better home, a better life. Who hasn't wished for these things, worked for them, and sought a place where they had a better chance of becoming real? For generations, Brockton has welcomed those seeking something better. From those who came in search of opportunity to today's multicultural population that makes us the most diverse community in all of New England. Brockton is a place where homes are more affordable, communities closer, where a strong and talented workforce fuels the success of businesses big and small, and the vision of a more diverse and equitable America is being realized every day. It's where ideas take root, businesses grow, communities thrive, new beginnings unfold, and the promise of a better life is kept. Brockton, Massachusetts, where better begins.
It's caught in the crossfire.
Merry Christmas, baby.
Merry Christmas, baby.
Did you get everything you wanted this year?
No, you didn't get a job, fool.
Bro, whatever you trying to sell, we good. We not trying to buy it.
Like you could afford it. Trina, when you gonna get rid of this dude?
Who are you?
Well, I'm the ghost of Christmas Get Your Shit Together. And Trina, this is your intervention, girl. Ladies, let's get it.
Girl, we need to talk. Your man is a bum. This may come as a shock. Your man is a bum. Put his number on lock. Your man is a bum. This really needs to stop. Your man is a bum. Man is a bum. man is a bum. Girl, stop being weak. Your man is a bum. Throw him onto the street. Your man is a bum. Man is a bum. Man is a bum. You will be happy, so don't be dumb. Your man is a bum. He's 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 a bum.
What the hell just happened?
I don't know, but you gotta get out by the end of this week.
Hold on, wait. So we're not finna talk about what just happened?
Look, you need to get your shit. You ain't got time. You need to get to packing.
Hold on, wait. You do know it's Christmas, right?
Exactly. 'Tis the season for you to get the fuck out of my house. Goodbye.
Trina, don't you talk to me like that. You bring your ass back here right now.
What a bum ass nigga. You
I
don't
know
do
you
shit
ain't
for
calling
me.
me a bum as long as I've been taking care of you. This is some
Bye,
bullshit.
Felicia. You don't do shit for me. You don't buy
I do
nothing
everything
for
for
me.
you.
Take me out.
Your hair is
You
done because of
Bye.
me, and I'm about to pull that shit out.
You ain't gonna push it
Right
out.
now, I know you ain't finna open my door. Open my door. Don't you drive my car.
Girl, we need to talk. Your man is a bum. This may come as a shock. Your man is a bum.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
This is blasphemy. This is madness. This is the proof.
Oh, what's up, you guys? It's your boy Sinister One, broadcasting live from the City of Champions. Excuse me. And Bobby Botchelos. Yay, DJ Boom in the chat, Deanna Marie, all you guys in the chat, what's up? Glad you guys liked the beginning of that show. Actually, last week's show was the first of those two. It was Deck the Halls, or I forget what it was. Go look at last week's intro. If you loved the intro skit before this week's show, please, please, please go and look at last week's intro. It was great. I actually might pull it up and show it to you guys before we get out of here tonight if I have time. So my hot tea tonight in my Sinister One Productions cup. Boom. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I got to thank my guests from last week, Angela Pride and Troy Pride Sr. They came on for Consult with Sports, Pride Sports, CWP, Consult with Pride Sports Consulting. Bam! Got it. And I'm waiting for my hat. Because I ordered a Pride hat, and I want that hat so I could sport it this week. So hopefully I'll get it to rock for the first of the year. But again, I know last week I had on my Clink Room hat. Floats like a butterfly. Muhammad Ali Clink Room hat. Exclusive. Ooh, some dust or something there. But as you know, I was rocking this at the Boston Music Awards. 2022 Boston Music Awards were last week at Big Night Live. We were there in the VIP. Chilling. Me, Vianna Marie, Videographer of the Year nominee Scott Sandonato, who filmed Let's Roll. Pop Artist of the Year, Justin Clancy up in the VIP. Marika, Photographer of the Year nominee for Boston, up in the VIP with her parents. DJ legend, hip hop star, Terminology up in the VIP with us, with his mom and family and his crew. Rapper Nines, K9s, what's up? Also, OG legend Ed OG was up there in there with us in the VIP. Check out all the picks. Elion V, Latin Artist of the Year nominee, up in the chat with us, chilling, doing big things. We was holding it down in the VIP, and there I was with my Clink Room exclusive floats like a butterfly hat. Look at that embroidery. So big shout out to the Clink Room. The Clink Room's not a sponsor of this show, but I know I've been giving them a lot of props because their hats are fire. I love my hats. And you know what? I would love to become a brand ambassador for them people because I love their hats, man. They got some good ass hats. Let me get into this show here. But again, big thank you to Angela Pride and Troy Pride Sr., Coaching with Pride Sports Consulting. Check them out. They were on last week. This is the last week. Last show for 2022. As I go on hiatus, I take my time off. And, I got to thank everybody for tuning in the chat. DJ Bobby Boom, Travis Partington, Oscar Mike Radio closing out his year. He's got his year-end show coming up at the end of the month. Check him out. Matty C, Sports for You and Me, got his couple of shows to hang out and do for the end of the year, and then he's going in hard for 2024. I'm producing, if you guys don't know this, every year we switch it up, we change it up, we change our backgrounds. We want it to be fresh every year. We don't want to be stale and do all this stupid ass, crazy ass stuff you see on some of these Zooms and things of that sort. Some of these people out here, they just throw up a Zoom with no background, no overlays, nothing, and they call it. They want to call themselves podcasters. There's more to podcasting than just throwing up your Zoom and just going raw dog. You got to put some work behind it. Put some stuff from TV that you see on TV. There's a lot of stuff out there. As you can see, I got my sponsors. I got my stuff up here in the left-hand corner. And for next year, we ain't playing. Cintas One Productions next year is not playing for 2023. So you want to make sure you're going to tune into Oscar Mike Radio and see his new layout. You want to tune into Happy Hour with Lito, see his layout. Tune in to Matty C, Sports for You and Me, see his brand new layout. And then January 3rd is when I come back. January 3rd is when I come back. You want to make sure you check out the Boost new layout. Because Sinister One Productions ain't messing around. We ain't messing around. We coming for heads next year in 2023. We coming for heads. I see everybody out there, no disrespect. I see you all podcasting. I see y'all doing your thing. I see y'all grinding, but here's the problem, yo. I've been doing this since 2000. I was doing HTML writing on my web TV. Y'all are doing a damn good job of doing your podcast and things of that sort and trying to do real good. But look, we're gonna be trying to set the bar for everybody next year. we're going to be trying to set the bar for everybody next year. For real. We want people to say, yo, what they bringing. And, you know, there's other people I've been working on their shows behind the scenes. NWO Podcast. I did a voiceover for NWO Podcast for this guy, Logan, out of Ohio. It's a sports podcast. They talk about college football and high school football, college basketball, and things of that sort. So check out the NWO Podcast. I did the voiceover for the intro for his show. I'm going to see if Talk Back with Gloria Shea will be back next year. She Talks Football Podcast. I got to see about them if they're coming back. She Talks Football Podcast. She was doing her podcast this year, but then when she went on there's that other platform where you go and you speak. And everybody, you know, it's like a chat room, and I always forget the name because I'm not really on it because it's like mad confusing when you get on there because everybody's talking over each other and stuff. But she's on that platform, and she's doing very well. She's doing very well on there. So Regina, I wouldn't be surprised if Regina's podcast may not be back for next year because she's doing so well on this other platform, which is it's like Twitter Spaces. Oh my goodness, and if you guys can remember and drop in the chat, I'm not on it, so I don't use it that much, but it's you know, people go in there and they talk. It says no video or nothing, but they all talk, and sometimes it's just crazy, but it's working for her and she's killing it. And I'm pretty sure if she was to ask me, Clubhouse, yes, thank you, Bobby, Clubhouse, that's exactly what it is. I don't use it. I get on there and just everybody's just talking to each other, and and then you gotta wait and ask, and then there's like 100 people in the group, and everybody's it's like, for me, I feel like if Clubhouse works for you, utilize it, work for it. For me, I feel like Clubhouse for me is a step back for what I've done. You know, I've been on radio, AM radio. I've been on internet radio in its early beginnings, and now I've taken podcasting to where it is today. And for me, you know, I feel like, and I'm pretty sure Travis Partington, who I helped him get Oscar Mike Radio off the ground, I feel like if your main focus is rolling on Clubhouse, stick to Clubhouse. It's because it's building. It's got its own little niche. But if you've been podcasting, you've put this time and effort in, you've got a solid video podcast, I feel like Clubhouse is a step back. Is it an add-on? Is it an extension? To be honest, some may say, since the one you're wrong, it's a great extension. I don't feel it's an extension. I feel like if you're someone like us, like Maddie C Sports for You and me, Happy Hour with Lido, Oscar Mike Radio, if you're already established and stuff, I feel like Clubhouse is only going to hurt our platforms. I feel like Clubhouse is something maybe you do on a quick, you know, like on a quick thing, like a quick ad. For me, with all the producing I'm doing on the outside and for the stuff I'm doing with the booth, I feel like Clubhouse for me just isn't worth it. I'd rather people come into my chat here, and if you got something you want to say or something you want to discuss, I'd rather you come here. That's just me. That's how I am, because I've been doing this for a long time. And, you know, and like I said, I'm not knocking anybody who's using Clubhouse, but I feel like you have to have a certain niche for Clubhouse. If it works for you, use it, and I wish you much success with it. But for me, you're not going to see Sinister One on Clubhouse. You're not going to see you getting an invite to Sinister One on Clubhouse, because I just feel like it's not for me and my product. I'm not down in it. If it works for you, use it. But like I said, it's not for me. And I wish Regina a ton of luck, because she's killing it on Clubhouse. She's killing it on Clubhouse. So if you can, follow She Talks Football on Clubhouse. Thank you guys for letting me know. Thank you. And I see all you guys in the chat hanging out. Maggie Penny, what's going on? Maddie Cameron, killing it. Like I said, 2023 with, like Matt Judon says, that's going to be Sinister One Productions in 2023. In January, I need everybody to tune into each of the shows that I produce and watch the new overlays. Y'all see the background going on right now. You know? I got a Christmas background. I had a Halloween background. So I try to take care of people. You know? I try to do this. And I got my sponsors. You know what I'm saying? So let me show you this. Let me get into my sponsors. And a couple of my sponsors are doing some videos now. Yep, see, Travis Partington. I don't mind being in the clubhouse room, but Travis says it definitely won't replace OMR. It won't. And see, for Travis, Clubhouse works for him because Travis has a show that speaks with topics involving veterans. And to be honest, on Clubhouse, where you're speaking with veterans and where you've got a case such as Travis is breaking down right now, I am Denisha Montgomery Smith, hashtag I am Denisha, where this woman was an MP and she reported an abuse, and then she felt weird, didn't feel right. She ended up videotaping her family, and then within days of sending this videotape, she ends up dead. And the military ruled it a suicide. And guess what? The military is they're in the process of clearing it up, and the family's trying to expose them, and all of this has been going on Travis's show. So please go and check out Oscar Mike Radio. He's like 5 shows in on this thing, and it's just been crazy. Clubhouse is nice for Oscar Mike Radio. Why? Because Travis can bring in people who may want to speak on this and be anonymous. You see what I'm saying? So for me, it doesn't work. For Travis, he can make it work for him. And Clubhouse is good like that because you can bring people in. People can give their responses or their thoughts on something like that type of story and be anonymous, which is huge, huge, huge. So like he said, he don't mind being in the Clubhouse room, but it will not replace OMR. And, I might become a hypocrite like Dana White. A few years down the line, I might find that Clubhouse works for me, but I can tell you right now, the way that I do this show and the way that I have a passion for doing this video production, things of that sort, I probably won't. But anybody else out there, if you're using it and you're doing it, good job. Like I said, Regina is killing it. Regina is killing it. My man Tyrone Washington, what's going on? Tyrone Washington's watching the show, checking in. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of stuff to show you. Let me get into my sponsors real quick. Michael Douglas Barreto, MTG Electronics. Oh, somebody wanted to know on YouTube, somebody said they can't see my shirt. My shirt says, I am not Santa. I am not Santa. But you can sit on my lap anyway. I am not Santa, but you can sit on my lap anyway. Oh man, yeah, I wore this at the Playboy Mansion about 3 years ago. No, sir. I'm just kidding. I've never been to the Playboy Mansion. But if you want to send an invite, send us to one@msn.com. I'll be there. In my sponsors, I'm a fool tonight. Don't bother me. Michael Douglas Barreto, MTG Electronics. If you got a controller that fades or drifts, get it out to him. It's back within 48 hours. Also available now, Viana Marie, It's Personal. That album came out in August on her birthday. The 13th was her birthday party celebration. And it's available now. And I've got some statistics and numbers just from one website we deal with, Digital DJ Pool. This is strictly a website for DJs like me. And what we do is we put the songs there, we post them, and then people pull them from all over the world, and then we get to see those statistics. And for Viana Marie's album right now, her album is doing better now in the August, September, October, November, in the 5 months that her album has been out. In the DJ, just the digital DJ franchise pool alone, she's at 40, 50, 60,000 engagements. And she's gotten radio airplay. She's getting nightclubs and bar airplay. But here's the problem that I'm having. All of the nightclub and bar airings and the playing of her song are all outside of Boston. We get mad love from outside of Boston. And this is the problem with Boston that people complain about. People talk about Boston not supporting each other, and it's crazy. It's crazy to see, you go in and you see 3 radio stations, Seattle, Washington, Hot 96.9, Cobb 96.9 out of Seattle, Washington, has played 5 songs off her album. 5 songs. Larkin Hall in Detroit, Michigan, has been bumping her music like, look, Larkin Hall in Detroit has been bumping Vienna Marie's music so much on Friday nights that we've been thinking about going out there and doing a show. That's how real it is, people. So, you know what? We'd love to see some more Boston love from Boston radio and Boston clubs and see it, because people are probably like, how's he even getting these? We get the analytics, yo. Artists have to get paid for where their music's played. And all this stuff is tracked now. All this is tracked now. Travis Partington says the same thing. Yep, I get more support outside of New England than here. It's weird. It's the way. Look, I could do a whole show on support outside of the box, where you can get support from complete strangers from outside the box, outside the state, sharing your stuff on a daily basis. But the people you know right here in this city, in this state, it's insane, bro. It's insane. It's crazy. Tactical Target Systems. Yep, Matt Cameron, Canada. Matt Cameron actually has a show that he did with Knuckles Nyland. NHL. That show got like 15,000 views. 15,000 views. All them hockey fans coming down and checking out all the stuff that he was posting. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff. Tactical Target Systems. They actually just put a video out, Don Robinson, about some of his tactical targets. Now, I use the zombie targets that you see pictured here, but they also have long rifle targets. They have pistol targets. So we got to, if you want to check them out, Tactical Target Systems is where you want to go. Order some targets. They use the best paper out there for their targets. That's their biggest boast. I didn't even know this. For all of the targets out there, Tactical Target Systems uses the best paper for their targets than any other target company. I didn't know that. That was mentioned in the video. So please check them out. They're now on social media. They're on Instagram. Don's got them on Facebook. He's cutting some promos. I'm going to actually get permission to see if I can use a promo on my show for him. Better than a Buick? I'm confused. Better than a Buick? I'm not sure. Buick's a car. So was I just talking about cars, and then I see Tom McGinty in there. Also, I Love Boston Sports. I've been dropping the ball because I actually cut an ad for I Love Boston Sports that was supposed to play this year. I cut an ad, and I haven't completed the ad yet for their store. I gotta get my button gear. I gotta get my button. And I owe people shirts too. I owe people shirts. So bad. Carbonell, veteran-owned, residential and commercial, 774-400-5993. We support our veterans here. Veteran-owned businesses. We support veteran-owned businesses. We support minority-owned businesses. We support first responder businesses. If you've seen it and we go along. If you saw Don Robinson is a retired police officer from LA. That's his business. Carbonell is a veteran. That's his business. All right. So we support these guys here. If you got any pests, reach out to Carbonell, veteran-owned, residential and commercial, 774-400-5993. And then we're going to get into the news booth. In the news booth, a 6.4 California earthquake shakes the early morning, leaving people without power. I haven't heard if there's been any deaths yet, but a 6.4. Actually, California's had quite a few earthquakes in the last this year. They've had a few 6 points this year. So, everybody always says the big one, and we haven't seen it, 1976 earthquake in Sense-Around. Remember that movie back then? I'm dating myself right now, but 76 Sense-Around earthquake. That was the big one. Remember with Charlton Heston? Remember when they showed it on TV? Remember when earthquake finally came on regular TV? They had to show it in three nights because it was so long. That was a long ass movie. It was the start Was Earthquake the start of the disaster films? No. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I don't think Earthquake was the start of that in 76. No, I think it was Poseidon Adventure, where the ship got flipped over by the wave, and then I think after Poseidon Adventure, it was Towering Inferno, and then we had Earthquake, and then after Earthquake, we had Roller Coaster, where you had the terrorist. Oh my God, if you all haven't seen the movie Roller Coaster actually friggin' it kept me off roller coasters for the longest time because it was a terrorist who was planting bombs on roller coaster tracks. And then he would set the bombs off and it would blow the track up. And then the roller coaster would come around the loop. And that was when the loop coasters were just coming out. The loop coaster was just coming out. And check this movie out. Maggio Gortner is the bomber. And we all know who Maggio Gortner is because Maggio Gortner plays the sick F in almost every film. The first film that Maggio Gortner was in and he got shot and killed as a sick F was like Magnum Force or Dirty Harry or something. He was in that. And then from then on, he was typecast as a sick mother for the rest of his life. If you saw Maggio Gortner, you knew he deserved to die. You knew he was some type of diddler or some type of terrorist or something. You knew he was dead. He was going to be dead by the end of whatever you was watching. But yeah, I think Roller Coaster was like the fourth of those disaster movies. And then, we didn't have any really big budget disaster movies for a while until like Independence Day. Independence Day was when we got to see the next big disaster. DJ Boom said no bombs on roller coasters. That's free. Check it out. If you guys haven't seen it, Roller Coaster was the name of the movie. It was a disaster movie about a terrorist blowing up roller coasters. And yo, it was grisly. Like, oh man. Oh, it trust me. If you watch this movie, it may just scare you like it did me from watching roller coasters. But I digress. I just went completely off the rails. I'm supposed to be talking about this Earthquake, and I did, but I think it is. I think Poseidon Adventure was first. I think Tower Inferno came. I might be wrong. Tower Inferno might have came before Poseidon Adventure, but that was the start of the so-called disaster movies. And we had our airplane movies. We had all those airplane movies, but those disaster movies were crazy. They started setting that tone, and it was like all those disaster movies were all big budgets. They had like the biggest actors. Like they broke the budget on all the friggin' crazy actors that they had in it. Actually, Earthquake in 76 had a cameo from someone who was a stunt bike rider. And it was, yeah. So check it out. Cintas. For you guys who don't know, you have uniform companies. You have all these uniform companies. You have UniFirst. You have Cintas. Cintas is one. I would say Cintas might be the number one, number two uniform supplier. Cintas has now added 14,000 electric vehicles. Cintas is actually the uniform provider for Paul Revere Transportation, which is my Bruce Wayne job. My Bruce Wayne job. In other words, I'm Sinister One here on the booth, but then when I leave Sinister One, my Bruce Wayne job is Paul Revere Transportation. But Cintas, does our laundry. They have now added 14,000 EVs to their fleet, and it's going to keep going. I just saw that the U.S. military has now been approved for $60 million for EVs autonomous. EV autonomous vehicles. These are self-driving vehicles for the military. 60 million, or it might even be 60 billion. But if I get that story, I'll share it with you guys first of the year, because there should be a great update on that one as we're headed towards this ban that's coming down. DJ Bobby Boom says they wash my pants. No problem, man. People, all you people who are on my Facebook, the Skip Clays, all you Trump supporters who keep going back and forth and talking about Democrats versus Republicans. It's all about this and all. And I've been telling people, we've been talking about this on the booth the first Tuesday every month. We've been telling people that The real problem isn't the Democrats versus the Republicans. The real problem is the GOP, period. The GOP is in a real dangerous place. So when Joe Biden got into office, the picture you see here is Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene. This was when they were heckling Joe Biden. Best of friends. They've been this, they've been that, they've been this, and they've been that. But as this, and I'm gonna get into this, as this January 6th thing came down and people have been dividing themselves, well, November just happened. We've had our elections. Lauren Boebert won Colorado by 500 votes. 500 votes. They had to go to a recount. And she won the recount by 500 and something votes. Well, guess what's happened with Lauren Boebert, people? Lauren Boebert secured her position in Colorado, but she has done quickly an about face. Why? Because I'm pretty sure the people that got her in and her people that work with her behind the scenes said, hey, guess what? You're lucky your ass got in with the 500 votes. You almost lost this election because you are linked to President Donald Trump and all these crazy lies about conspiracy theories and all this violence and things of that sort. You need to make a decision. And guess what? It didn't take long for Lauren Boebert to flip the script. Once those counts were done, Lauren Boebert has flipped the script. She's been vocal. She's kind of distancing herself away from the Trump people and kind of moving towards DeSantis. Like I told people, this is going to happen. The GOP is going to back DeSantis. But like I said, Trump has 70 million people who voted for him, and they got to nip away. And I'm going to talk to how the GOP is about to do this. But Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, they went at it because Lauren Boebert has now flipped the script. Marjorie Taylor Greene has now called her out and says, whoa, her herself, President Trump, and all these other crazy lunatics have poured money into her campaign for her to win that election. So now they feel like you owe us. And this is why I hate politics, because when people dump money into your campaign, you're obligated to them. And you shouldn't be. But that's how it works, people. The gun lobbyists, look, the tobacco lobbyists lobbied for years on the Hill. But then when smoking became such a danger and people were dying, guess what happens? That money that the tobacco companies were dumping in Washington became irrelevant. And we're seeing this now with the opiate addiction lawsuits. All that money by Big Pharma it gets pulled back. It gets pulled back, you know? So Boebert has flipped the script, and her and MTG, they're not buddies no more. They're going at it. They're calling each other out. And it's getting ugly. It's getting ugly. And when I talk about these extreme right wingers, Kari Lake from Arizona, who lost the election and demanded a recount, and she lost the recount. And then she went on this crazy tirade about the election being fixed and stolen, and she's completely aligned herself with Donald Trump. And then she goes to this event this past weekend. They had this Turning Point GOP event where they had all of these people to represent the GOP. Now, I watched some of this, and it's scary, people, because if you watch this Turning Point event, the battle lines within the GOP is being drawn headed into 2024. And this is a scary thing, people. This is real scary because it's going to split the GOP as we know it. Trump and his people are going to split this GOP. Trump is not going to go away quietly, people. They've already announced this January 6th. We're going to talk about this. He's not going away quietly. Some of these people are I'm scared because my feeling is okay, what's about to happen about January 6th? He's going to lose his mind. And look, if he ends up in jail, who knows what some of these crazy people are going to think. But this is Kari Lake. Check out Kari Lake this weekend. This is scary. Now, you've seen politicians. You've seen how they've acted in the press. You've seen how they talk to people out in public, right? This is Kari Lake, who just lost her election in Arizona. Check this out. Check this out.
I want you to know that I identify as a proud election-denying deplorable. Are you with me?
That is failed Arizona gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake. The Republican declared, "I'm a proud election-denying deplorable," during an utterly unhinged speech.
And my pronouns are I won.
Here she is talking about Donald Trump.
He and I have become good friends. That man cares more about this country than anybody I know. He's given up more than anybody I know. And these bastards of the media want to drag him through the mud.
Yes, she really gave the FU salute to photographers in that Arizona ballroom, but those were not members of the media. She was actually insulting a production crew for Turning Point USA, the conservative summit organizer. Lake is such a pathetic human being. Good grief. Hello, everybody. I'm David Schuster, and thanks for joining us. Even in the context of lunatic speeches, the remarks by Kari Lake at this conservative event were some of the most bizarre many of us have ever seen. The words weird and unhinged don't even do justice to the putrid crap that Lake spewed. Lake has refused to concede the Arizona governor's race since losing by 17,000 votes in November to Secretary of State Katie Hobbs. Lake has produced no evidence that the election was stolen or that anything should change the outcome. And in fact, a judge has now sanctioned Lake's legal team for the way they have mishandled the lawsuit. The judge ruled that Lake's team made false, misleading, and supported fictional assertions to the courts. But Lake, instead of taking responsibility for her lawyer's malfeasance, is now claiming that the courts are trying to silence her legal team. So Lake is asking conservatives to pray for her and her lawyers because, Lake thinks that God should be on the side of conservative fantasy land, not on the side of basic democracy, facts, or justice. Sounds familiar, right? A conservative loses an election, cannot accept the results, and has to lie, mislead supporters, and pervert God. No wonder Kari Lake and Donald Trump are such good friends. Like Donald Trump, Kari Lake is also hinting at violence. She told the audience on Sunday that the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, is in danger because of Democrats. And then she said, "You do not steal our vote and get away with it. You do not." Until a few weeks ago, the longtime local television news anchor was regarded as one of the brightest stars in the Republican Party. But like Donald Trump, Lake has repeatedly discredited herself and made herself appealing only to the GOP's most psychopathic lunatic fringe. In the final weeks of her gubernatorial campaign, Lake appeared to encourage violence. She also mocked the attack on Paul Pelosi, the husband of Democratic House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Now, Lake is comparing her election challenge to the Founding Fathers' fight against British tyranny. Lake has repeatedly named Benjamin Franklin and others and said, "Their blood is coursing through our veins. They were fed up with the tyrants," Lake said, "and they weren't going to take it anymore. I think we are right there," said Lake. Actually, Kari, right now, you are in need of a mental institution with padded walls. If anything, the founders of this country are rolling in their graves at your paranoid schizophrenia and contempt for democracy. Many of us used to think that Trumpism would go away with Donald Trump, but Kari Lake serves as a reminder that fact-free fascism and narcissism can sprout up anywhere.
And as you see, as some of these GOP members come to their senses and start leaning towards DeSantis, the GOP extreme right is latching on to these people like Kari Lake and making them the forefront all of a sudden. Now, just 3 months ago, she didn't like Donald Trump, but she lost her election, and this is what she does. This is what she says. And in the legal booth, going into the legal booth, as you heard, she had went to court, and it came out today. She suffered defeat. She went to court, and they ruled 8. They dismissed 8 of the baseless claims. The judges told her she has 48 hours to prove the other 2 claims. If she can't prove her 2 claims, guess what? It's going to be thrown out and dismissed. She's going to lose 10 out of 10 with dismissals on this case, just like Donald Trump and his court cases. He lost them pretty much 99%. All of them. Done. Lost. So this is the problem, people. The GOP is headed to its own implosion if they don't fix this problem right now. I've said it. The DeSantis is gonna be the nominee, and Trump is just waiting for them to announce that, and he's gonna unleash hell. But the GOP is already doing what they need to do to get Donald Trump out the picture and secure pulling these 70 million votes against their will. Why? Because the January 6th committee, which is made up of more GOP members than there is Democratic members, the GOP committee has now referred to the DOJ to put criminal charges against President Donald Trump. 4 counts. 4 counts. 4 counts. And one of those is inciting the January 6th insurrection. And guess what, people? If he's found guilty by the DOJ on this, the GOP that's planning on backing DeSantis will be dancing in the streets. Why? Because if he is convicted, he can't run. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. There'll be no 2024 if he's convicted. And the GOP knows exactly what the hell they're doing. So when I have all these people on my page, they're talking about the Democrats. It's not the Democrats. Donald Trump's biggest enemy is the GOP that's about to support DeSantis. And it is going to split the party as we know it. And the GOP will fail to exist as we know it. And this is history in the making. Trust me, you're hearing it here. We've been talking about this. We've been following it. We've been nailing it. We've been telling you all this stuff before everybody else out there. Because we watch, we pay attention. We've been doing politics. I've been holding signs for people in politics since I was 16 years old. I've been voting since I was 18. I've always been obsessed and watched how these lines are drawn and how this happens. And I'm just telling you, people, keep an eye on this GOP. It's about to get ugly. Donald Trump was already on Truth Social, ripping them apart. Kari Lake, it's, you know, it is going to be crazy, people. Keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on this, because this isn't going to get any nicer. It isn't. It is not. Banks. Let's get into the elitists in banks. Wells Fargo. This lawsuit was flying under the radar. Nobody even knew about this. Now, on top of all these banks like Bank of America and stuff, discriminating black people and things of that sort, Wells Fargo has to pay $3.7 billion. Now, I have a friend. She lives in Baltimore, Maryland. She got a check because in her state of Maryland, in Baltimore, they had a lawsuit against a bank out there for overdraft fees and things of that sort. Guess what? They won their case and they had to pay everybody back. So here's a new one now, people. Pay attention to this one. Wells Fargo, which for a while there was doing a ton of home loans. Actually, my house was mortgaged through Wells Fargo through my credit union. But Wells Fargo was doing bank loans for cars, mortgages, and things of that sort. You know what Wells Fargo was doing that they got to pay $3.7 billion out to customers? You want to know what they was doing? This is some crazy stuff. So here's what they were doing. First of all, they were purposely making people's bank accounts negative by posting deposits in the wrong places. So say if you're doing your banking through them and you have a savings account and this account and then something else. So they would put the money in the wrong account, your wrong account. Then this account would end up overdrawn, or your mortgage payment would end up being late. And you got all these overdraft fees and you're paying these all out. Guess what? They were purposely doing it. Think about that, people. Here you are. Here's $3.7 billion. Think about this. These are customers who had weekends or holidays ruined because of overdraft fees going crazy. And you say, man, I know I did this. And guess what? You probably did. But the bank behind the scenes was messing with your money, your deposits, your mortgage payment, and then they were bleeding you with overdraft fees and late fees purposely. They knew about it. Think about that. This is just Wells Fargo. This is just Wells Fargo, people. Think about that. That is insane. A bank is supposed to be a trusted institution. A trusted institution. And instead, it doesn't even matter if you're black or white. They're ripping everyone off. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. It's coming. Just like we're seeing the opiate lawsuits, we're going to see the bank lawsuits. Because I wish people would get angry more at this and start demanding all the banks show how they have ripped people off with these overdraft fees and how they make it snowball. They know what the hell they're doing. I've heard people, I've been caught up in that when I was younger. I've been caught up in it when you're told, oh yeah, you know, this here and this and that. And, you know, it's all these big banks. It's Wells Fargo. It's Bank of New England. It's all these big banks doing it, which is why I was always told, put your money in a credit union. And my money has been in a credit union ever since. Ever since. So, Bobby, DJ Boom says, I love my Chime account. No charges for nothing that's coming, though. Nothing lasts forever, Bobby. You know why? Because the government got to take their cut. Look, everybody was Cash Apping. Everybody was PayPaling. Everybody was Venmoing. And look what happened. You got to file taxes. Why? Because people were doing big budget transactions and bypassing taxes. So as of next year, you're going to be getting taxed on any transaction over $600 on Venmo or Cash App. Coming. I mean, you already on PayPal for the last 3 years. PayPal, you've had to report money as income. They send you a tax form to claim income. So if you've got some type of account or some type of thing where you're not getting charged for nothing right now, eventually you will. Trust and believe me, you eventually will. It's coming. It never fails. Once they feel like you're because the banks don't want that threat. And trust and believe me, the banks are responsible for coming after PayPal, for coming after Cash App, for coming after Venmo. Blame the banks. They went and cried to the government. They're doing this much money in transfers, and we're not getting our cut. Trust and believe me. Trust and believe me. In the entertainment booth, I got Joopy trying to get up in here. You gotta get down. Be patient. Come on, girl. I know the problem is she gotta go out. I see you. I hear you. You gonna make me take a break? Look at Joopy here. She's here. She gotta go out, and she wants me to take her out. You gotta wait. Hold on. Wait. All right. Let me get in the entertainment booth, and then I'll take her out when I show a highlight or something. Rest in peace, Stephen Twitch. Suicide. 40 years old, wife and kids. He was Ellen DeGeneres' DJ on her show. He was found in a hotel with a apparent gunshot wound, self-inflicted. And it's sad. And his mom just put a post on social media in regards to his death. And mental illness is real, people. And I see a lot of people out there saying that this is some type of conspiracy theory, this and that. And, you know, they think that they're Ellen's trying to cover something up because Anne H also was a suicide, and they're saying it wasn't. And, you know, self-apparent wound. That this is what the coroner's report, and you know, they go and they measure, and I'm not going to get into the craziness of it, but it's sad. Mental illness, you know, people who you think are the happiest, and, you know, he's all over TikTok and Instagram dancing with everybody and this and that, but guess what? More money, more problems is real, people. More money, more problems is real. It doesn't cure happiness. It doesn't cure depression. It doesn't cure mental illness. We've seen it with Robin Williams. We've seen it with so many people that have had everything in front of them, and, you know, you're still not happy. So it's tough. Also, speaking of mental illness, Jamie Spears, father of Britney Spears, speaks out for the first time on the conservatorship. And he said he was doing the best he could to protect his daughter's best interest. This is a guy who's living in a friggin' trailer park in Georgia. He's been living in a trailer park, even when he was under this. He wasn't taking any money from her. He was living in a trailer park in Georgia. He never took a dime from his daughter. He only took what legally he was bound to take because the conservatorship watched over him and what he did. If you can check out the interview, check it out, because at the end of this interview, his last words were, look what's going on now. And he's referring to the train wreck of social media of Britney Spears. If you guys haven't seen this past weekend, Britney Spears was upset and went on this tirade on Instagram because she went through drive-thru and started singing a song at KFC to the guy at drive-thru, and it was a young kid, and guess what? The young kid didn't know who she was. He just thought she was this crazy chick getting KFC at the drive-thru and was singing. And she went on Instagram and wrote this whole tirade about the fat guy at KFC and how he didn't know her and how disrespectful it was that he didn't know her song, and how he said, oh, that's good. He didn't really praise her. That's scary. That is scary, people. That's that cry that we see on her social media, that cry for acceptance. And I'm pretty sure what happened at the KFC drive-thru messed Britney up. Messed Britney up. I'm sure of it. So her father breaks the silence. If you want to check it out, there's a whole interview on this, about this, and it's sad. The whole thing's sad. All he wanted was to protect his daughter. Chris Gagney, I see you in the chat. What's going on? Thank you for tuning in the show. Samuel L. Jackson. Happy Hair Day on Sesame Street. I love it. I love Samuel Jackson being on Happy Hair Day on Sesame Street, but why? Samuel Jackson has been bald forever. So why? I gotta watch it. I gotta see, how does Samuel Jackson fit? Why isn't somebody like Troy Polamalu on Happy Hair Day for Sesame Street, or somebody like Trevor Lawrence for Happy Hair Day? I don't get it. I gotta see how Samuel L. Jackson fits in the Sesame Street. For those who don't know, Sesame Street is now on HBO. It's been on HBO for like 3 years now. It's not on WGBH Channel 2. Sesame Street is part of HBO. You can check it out there. I believe if you Google it, you'll find out the date that it's going to air. Big one here. WWE is closing out the year with probably one of the biggest matches of the year on SmackDown. On December 30th, SmackDown's final show of the year will feature the return of John Cena, Boston's own. John Cena will team up with Kevin Owens, who has a huge attachment to the Boston area, even though he's from Canada. Kevin Owens did a lot of his independent days and grind here in the New England area. We actually, Mark Chiappetta did a thing with Jerry the King Lawler and Kevin Owens. At that time, his name was Kevin Stiz or something of that sort. But yeah, he was a huge independent around here in the New England area for the longest time before blowing up. They will take on Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn on December 30th. So you know where my butt will be plopped on December 30th. Oh, man. Watching SmackDown. In the sports booth. What's going on, Dennis Donahue? Thank you for tuning in. In the sports booth. Oh, y'all know what's coming up in the sports booth, right? Because y'all see me lose my mind. Oh, man. Oh, in the local sports booth. Samson Okunlola commits to Miami football. Now, Samson, see this kid right here? The Okunlolas. Look, I remember them when their parents came to registration and signed them up for Brockton Junior Boxers football. They were coming outside. We were having signups at that time. It was Modell's. And they was coming out of the supermarket and they signed up and registered their kids to play football. And I remember the kids were, oh, yeah, I play football. And now look at these kids, all of them big, fast, strong, committing to colleges. It is crazy to see these young men that I've watched through Pop Warner football committing to Miami. That's not, look, that's a, come on now. Dwayne Johnson, Ray Lewis. Come on. Warren Sapp. Do we need to go on? Do we need to continue as what products the University of Miami has turned out for linemen and linebackers? Do we need to get into this? Brockton's own has now committed to Miami football. Whew. He is the first senior in Massachusetts, I believe, to be a 5-star recruit. Applause. Keep your eyes on him, guys. Keep your eyes on him. Here it is, people. I didn't even want to talk about it, but I got to, because I was mad. And I actually picked the Raiders to win this game. Because I've got the Patriots 8-9 for the season, and I'm sticking by it. But what happened this past weekend, and I called it. I was so mad I called it. I said, how are you going to let him become a meme for the rest of his life? And sure enough, the memes came. The memes came with a vengeance. Jacoby Myers tries to lateral the ball with no time on the clock. Gets intercepted by former Patriot Chandler Jones. Up until this time, no other Patriot has come back to burn us that Belichick has gotten rid of. But now it has happened. Chandler Jones picks it off. Takes it all the way to the end zone. In what people are calling the dumbest play in the history, not just the weekend, the dumbest play in the history of the NFL. The NFL has been around for more than 100 years. The dumbest play in the history of the NFL. And you know what? I love my Patriots. I support my Patriots. I will be honest with my Patriots whenever I talk about them. And I will be honest right here, right now. I totally agree that this will look, when they do NFL all-time blunders, when Time Films and all them do that on NFL Network, and they do the all-time top 100 of all-time blunders, if this ends up being number one, I'm not gonna hate. Look, I'm not gonna hate. Look, and I put my own spin on it for you. Here it is. Here's what went down, and the Patriots lost to the Raiders 30-24. Here we go.
Mac Hollins out on defense. He's all the way back. And Stevenson
is anyone going to
inside the 30, flips it back.
It was at this moment that he knew he f***ed up.
Stanford band nowhere in sight.
Uh-oh.
It's picked off.
Oh.
Damn!
Oh no!
Unbelievable! Incredible! Chandler Jones takes it in and wins the game for the Raiders! Have you ever seen an ending like that?
I have never seen anything like that. I have no idea why he was doing that. Oh my goodness.
Jesus! God! Tap dancing Christ!
Thank you, T-Pain. That's how I felt. And have you guys ever seen that many memes in the highlight? That's how I felt. I don't need to say any more. Unbelievable. And also, to piss me off was the catch that was made in the end zone, that the foot was on the sideline. And the vice president, Walt Anderson of officiating, he turned around in a pool report for the press. He broke it down. And here was their excuse. This game was flexed to 4:30. So it was no longer a national game. Because this game was no longer a national game, they were not able to supply. Get this, people. Hold on your seats. They were not able to supply enough end zone cameras. You know, the pylon cams with the 4 cameras inside that go on each end zone sideline so they can see if a person breaks the plane or if somebody breaks the out of bounds. You know those cameras? You know, the cameras that 1 point something billion dollar industry in the NFL should be able to afford, like stopping at Dollar Tree. You know that business, right? They didn't have enough pylon cameras for this game. So all of the shots that they got in New York from the pylon cams didn't have the overhead camera shot that they showed on TV, that they showed on replay, that they showed in Allegiant Stadium's Jumbotron, where even the fans and players and everybody knew it was out of bounds. But because they called it a touchdown, there has to be conclusive evidence to reverse the call. Because of it being called a touchdown on the field, conclusive evidence. Guess what? Walt Anderson says we didn't have it. We didn't have that overhead shot. We only had the sideline and the back of the end zone shot, and it wasn't clear enough, so it stayed a touchdown. It stayed a touchdown for that reason. Are you? Stop it. Well, then get some more cameras then, Walt Anderson. Get some more cameras. It's been crazy. It's been all season. Y'all been dropping. Officiating's been horrible. Also, not just with the Patriots. Y'all see the end of that Washington game? Y'all see the end of the Washington game? If I'm a Redskins fan, I'm pissed. Dude look, the Giants defender had the wide receiver wrapped up. They called, there was no flag in the end zone, incomplete pass, game over, Redskins lose, Giants win. Why? In my opinion, why? Because right now, and my friend Dennis Donahue, who's a big Redskins fan on here, I apologize. I'm sorry. I gotta reel it back. Washington Commanders. Washington Commanders. Sorry, people. Sorry. Washington Commanders in the end zone was wrapped up by the New York Giants. Please Please. My attorney is Kenneth Diesenhoff. If you're looking to sue me for my earlier comments. But Dennis, your Washington guys got screwed. It was a completely missed call, and my reason behind it is that team is for sale, and they're trying to sell that team with this whole thing that went down with Snyder. And Snyder has been a thorn in the side of the NFL since day one. Y'all, you don't think so? When Snyder took this team over, Snyder broke the budget for the best team on paper. When you go back and look at the team that Snyder assembled when he bought the team, you go back and look, and you if you didn't know anything, you'd be like, damn, they had Bruce Smith. They had everybody, but everybody was old and past their prime. I remember when they signed all the people. Dennis. I remember Dennis was pissed. Like, damn, it'd be great if this was like 1992, but oh. I remember my boy Dennis, and thank you for your service. I remember you was pissed, bro. You was so upset at the fact that it was a debacle. Ever since Snyder took over, this team has just been a debacle. So I gotta get ready to get out of here. But ESPN informs owners that teams that spent $800 on fired coaches and executives over the last 5 years, they need to clean it up. You got to give coaches look. Joe Judge came in there during COVID, which was the toughest time to coach a team, brand new coach, and he didn't have any results, and they fired him, and he ended up coming back here as a slash, should have been a offensive coordinator. Let's get real here. But Joe Judge didn't really get his chance. Brian Flores down in Miami, he was doing good, but he didn't even really get a chance. They let Brian Flores go. But again, it's a waste of money. A coach isn't going to come in here and make a difference in 1 year. This is the NFL. It's tough. And the way that they've been doing these schedules is crazy. So the NFL has just told them, clean it up. At least do coaches under what you do for the rookies. Rookies are a 5-year contract. If you're drafted, it's a 5-year contract. You got 5 years to prove yourself. If you don't prove yourself in 5 years, you don't get no bonus. You don't get nothing. You're fired. You're cut. You go to another team. Let's put this in place with coaches. If you don't want to do 5, do a 3-year. Do a 3-year deal for coaches. I think 5 years fair. I think if you're going to give rookies 5 years, you should give head coaches 5 years. That's my opinion. If you think so, put it in the chat. Because that's what I think. No coach can come in there in 1 and 2 years and get stuff done, especially if you got a crappy GM who's been, overseeing your draft. Let's talk about Dallas, where Jerry Jones controls everything. You go down there and you're a head coach. Guess what? You ain't running that team. You ain't, trust and believe me, you ain't running the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones is. And he will fire you just as quick if you don't do what he says. Trust and believe me. All right? T.C. Taylor has been named the head coach of Jackson State University. T.C. Taylor and Coach Prime, they lost. SWAC lost to Meek, North Carolina this weekend in the championship. Tough loss. Tough loss. The kid Hogan dropped the pass in overtime, and that let North Carolina win. Tough loss. But T.C. Taylor has now been named the head coach for JSU moving into the 2023 season. Getting into the Biden bombshells. Biden, in a newly surfaced video from November 4th, declares the Iranian nuclear talks are dead. And he said, we're not going to talk about it, and we're not going to put it out there. And now people are up in arms because they didn't want to talk about it. But people forget, Trump had already pulled us out of that deal. So, and once he pulled us out, everybody said they're not going to come back to the table and talk. They're not gonna. And everybody said this. So when they pulled us out, he said he's not going to go back. So now people are up in arms, and I don't get it, but we'll keep an eye on this. We'll see, because things can change. We'll see. Ukraine invasion, people, 300 days in, and neither side looks like they're giving up. And today was the 300th day. Zelensky went to Bahrain to support the troops because that is a critical area of the Ukraine where they have now almost pushed the Russian forces out. Almost have pushed them out. And they've got those Patriot missiles on the way. Putin has now said that he is now going to put more modern weapons on their militia support, military support. Here's my problem with that one, Putin. You should have did that from day one. If you're really, truly ready to take over the Ukraine, you should have had your modern weapons ready to go from day one, or you probably wouldn't have been in this situation. So for Putin to say that now, I feel like he's just grasping at straws now because he's getting his ass kicked. 300 days in, you're a superpower. Putin shouldn't be 300 days in on the Ukraine. Shouldn't be. Nope. No ifs, no ands, no buts. So this is an embarrassment. An embarrassment. Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in the show. Check out those who supported the show with the hats. I want to thank everybody for checking it out. As I said, this is our Christmas show. And getting ready to kick off the end of the year. Take my time off. All the shows that I'm involved with producing. Make sure to check them out. Again, 2023. All new production. For Maddie C Sports for You and Me, Oscar Mike Radio, Happy Hour Lido, all of them got a brand new look. Drafting the circuits, there's some stuff coming up with drafting the circuits that I really can't talk about right now. I got to get with Tony Arnold on that, on Hoobazoo, and we got to see what's going on there. But please, again, support our shows. Again, I said the booth will be back here with a new look. Happy holidays from BatBus. All buses are free still until December 31st. All BAT buses are free. Please take advantage of that. Also, today is the last day for Mark's Army Book Drive. If you got any books you want to donate to be sent off to the military, drop them off at 48 Lodge Street in Brockton. New books only. Also, tomorrow, December 21st, Community Holiday Hope Dinner. Free toys and giveaways. Lincoln Congregational Church, 180 Oak Street in Brockton. Live performance by Viana Marie tomorrow, December 21st, 4 p.m. The doors open. Also, again, thank you, everyone, for tuning into the show and supporting it. I want to make sure that everybody has a great holiday season. Be safe. Make sure you're back here to watch the booth in 2023. Again, thank you for everybody for the support and showing some love and hanging out with us in the VIP at the Boston Music Awards last week. It was a good time. And again, keep an eye out for all of the new production for the Cinethorn production shows next year. It's going to be crazy. With that being said, let me see if I can pull up this video. It's 8:13. I'm going to try to pull up this other Christmas video for you guys. If you guys want to see this other Christmas video, if you missed it last week, I'll pull it up. Let me see if I can pull it up for you real quick before we get out of here. And then what I'll do is I'll have SpongeBob take us home after that. So if you guys want to see it, let me know. Let me know if you want to. I showed that video before the show. You guys loved it. You thought it was funny. If you guys want to see another one of their videos, let me know. Let me know, and I'll pull it up. And let me get it for you right now. Let me know. I gotta see it. What's up? Love you too, brother. Love you too. What's up, Kevin Jeffries? Come on, guys. If you want to see it, you gotta let me know. If you want to see the one from last week, you gotta let me know, or I'm not showing it. I'm gonna let him take us home. If you want to see it, let me know. They want to see it. Everybody wants to see it. Everyone wants to see it. Y'all want to see the Ratchet of the Bells from last week? Y'all want to see it? Hold on. Here we go. Let me get it up for you. Here we go. And then SpongeBob will take us home. All right. We'll do this, and then we'll do SpongeBob will take us home. But here's last week, Ratchet of the Bells Drop in the chat. If you love the one that I showed earlier tonight, here we go. Hold on, it's coming, people.
See you next Tuesday.
Let's get it.
Thank you for listening to The Booth on Hoobazoo and HatcherRadio.com. Please follow the Facebook page and subscribe to the podcast at Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. The Booth is a Sinister One production hosted by Sinister One.
I gotta start hanging out with friends that are a little more intelligent and understand politics and stuff. It's just that I'm about this level up here, and all my friends are down here. Me down, you guys are down. I'm going home.
I smoke, I drink, I do my thing. These bitches hating, so you know I got to make it plain. Don't do cocaine with your chick, my main. We stick together, true forever, yeah, you know we bang. I miss those days, which was easy. If only I made this on repeat. Now that I done upgraded, I've been upstate, y'all think I'm playing. And I got a hit now for these weak assholes who think I ain't slaying. Try me, and I'll probably end up laughing cause I never back down. I'm that chick with a clean ass.
That's actually the wrong one. That's not the right one. Hold on. Let me get the right one for you guys. That's actually the wrong one. I actually have to find the right one for you guys. That's not the right one. That's a different one. And that's not the funny one. The funny one is going to be a different one, and I'm going to get it for you. Hold tight, guys. All right. I got the right one. Here we go.
It's caught in the crossfire.
Here you go, guys.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having your phones turned off. All right, our next selection will be Carol of the Bells.
Are you serious right now?
It's important.
I'm sure it is.
Girl, that's a bell. Yes, you can tell. You're wondering if he's cheating. Pick up his phone. You will be blown. Once you find out, please do not shout. Ding dong, ding dong. You have been wrong. You have been tricked. That's his side, bitch. You had no clue. What can you do? It's time to get really ratchet. You did not know you're as a hoe. You are the wife. Grab a knife. Cut off his dick. Don't give a shit. Have no fear. Christmas is here. He played you one fucking Christmas. He played you one fucking Christmas. Listen to the choir. He is a liar. He played you with another boo. Girl, that's a bell. Yes, you can tell. You're wondering if he's cheating. Pick up his phone. You will be blown. Once you find out, please do not shout. Ding dong, ding dong. You have been wrong. You have been tricked. That's his side, bitch. You had no clue. What can you do? It's time to get really ratchet. You did not know you're as a hoe. You are the wife. Grab a knife. Cut off his dick. Don't give a shit. Have no fear. Christmas is here. He plays you one fucking Christmas. He plays you one fucking Christmas. Listen to the choir, he is a liar. He played you with another boo.
Where'd your holiday spirit go?
You can go activity shove that Christmas tree up your ass. I'm gone.
Listen to the choir, he is a liar. He played you with another boo.
Well, see you next Tuesday.
Thank you for listening to The Booth on Hoobazoo and HatcherRadio.com. Please follow the Facebook page and subscribe to the podcast at Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. The Booth is a Sinister One production hosted by Sinister One.
I've got to start hanging out with friends that are a little more intelligent and understand politics and stuff. It's just that I'm up on this level up here, and all my friends are down here. Me, nah. You guys, nah. Maybe a little more down in here. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
I smoke, I drink, I do my thing. These bitches hating, so you know I got to make it plain. Don't do cocaine with your chick, my main. We stick together, true forever, yeah, you know we bang. I miss those days, which was easy. If only I made it, keep this shit on repeat. Now that I done upgraded, I've been upstate, and y'all think I'm playing. And I got a hit now for these weak assholes who think I ain't slaying. Try me, and I'll probably end up laughing, cause I never back down. I'm that chick with a clean ass whip, I don't need that shit, it's like I'm my own now. I get hurt, I get tired of fussing, fighting, guess I gotta crack down. Don't mess with me, cause on everything I'ma have to bring the whole city out.
WHOOBAZOO, that's Hoobazoo.com.
Enter website, enter website, enter website, enter website.